Bonjour à tous, bienvenue à un nouveau épisode du F1 2022 My Team, and I think that's right. I'm gonna run with that, I believe. And if you don't know French, that was hello guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2020 My Team series. Now, today we are here, as you can tell by the French accent, at Paul Ricard, and that means we are at the French Grand Prix. If you guys missed the previous episode at the Canadian Grand Prix, then you guys can go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen and go watch that one, see what happened, see what went down. But today we are here at France, and if you guys go on to enjoy today's video, and also if you enjoy that French at the beginning that I'm trying to work on, then by all means drop me a like. It'd really help me out, and subscribe for more daily F1 2020 content on the channel. And without further ado, let's get today's episode underway. And here we are then, starting yet another race weekend. First of all, looking at the laptop, rain is expected for the race tomorrow, which is very interesting, so we're going to keep an eye out for that one. We then move into the R&D graph, and again, no upgrades for us this weekend in terms of performance, because we are focusing on the durability side of things at the minute, so we are making sure we get to the end of the year on the current components. Ferrari though do bring some big upgrades, and also we have one durability upgrade in the pipeline as it stands, and hopefully we should be able to add a couple more today. And I think once we add a few more, that should be it in terms of durability upgrades, and we can then move back to performance upgrades. So hopefully we can do that very soon. And we also have a brand new engine in the car this weekend. So for practice, we're going to use an old power unit, and then for qualifying, we are going to throw in the brand new power unit. There is Max Verstappen getting ready for the practice session here today as we hit the track and get straight down to work and straight out of business here. And we're going to see how things go, because again, the car's been great this season so far. The autumn upgrades have really made a difference, and we are really competitive. And after practice, it's a 1-2 for the 97 Martini Racing team as we get P1, Ricardo P2 on mediums. Really good pace. After practice, we scored over 1,000 R&D points as well, which is great. So things are looking very good heading into qualifying. We also have some very marginal gains on Team ACCLAIM all round. But with that said, we are going to move into Saturday and into qualifying, more specifically into Q1, and we're going to get this session underway, and fingers crossed we could try and get comfortably into Q3 and set ourselves up, because it does look like around here, at least this season especially, we seem to be very quick over one lap, which is quite refreshing, because we tend to struggle in qualifying and then be very quick in the races. So we've got genuine one lap pace, and that's very exciting for me. So as you can see, currently in Q1, we have got, I believe, a Red Bull just up the road here who is going to peel off into the pit lane, so that's going to release us into some clean air. Currently P20 and last with 8.5 minutes to go, but we're going to exit the final corner, and this was actually a pretty strong banker lap, to be honest with you. Wasn't perfect, but still very strong. We go P1 with a 24.6 and set the benchmark straight away. We go marginally quicker than Lewis Hamilton, and then Bottas and Ricciardo also there as well in the mix, along with Sebastian Vettel, Ocon and Leclerc. And to be fair, the field looks pretty close right here this weekend. We then move into Q2, and I was going to try my luck on the medium tyres, because I feel like I've got the pace for it. We also got a lovely tow here from the Ferrari on the back straight, hitting about 350 Ks as we almost get that as we enter the chicane, and that's going to give us a nice little speed boost on the back straight. And we then skip on towards the end of the lap, and to be fair, the lap in itself wasn't terrible. It wasn't that bad, but you could tell I lacked a bit of general grip. We're going to see though where we go in amongst the shuffle as we run up to the line, and it's going to be P8 for us, so not ideal. 4 tenths off Ocon in P6, which is a bit surprising. I then go to the right hand side to not hold up the Ferrari who was behind me as he was starting a lap. And yeah, unfortunately we got pushed down to P12. It wasn't by much, we was only out by a tenth, but we didn't have that kind of pace to get through, so I had to go to the soft tyres. And to be fair, we did not mess around on this lap, because we set a benchmark. We moved the goalposts in that sense. So you see here now, nice exit out the final corner. We're running up to the line, and this lap is going to be a 24.5, a tenth quicker than our Q1 time, and looking like we've got really good pace. Ricardo makes it a 1-2, and we're just covered by 7,000th of a second. So really competitive. Red Bull also showing their teeth a little bit in Q2, showing their upper hand on cards, and just showcasing they do have a bit of pace this weekend, which is quite surprising. And Mercedes actually dropping the ball a little bit in Q2 there. But with that said, we moved to Q3, and this was my first run in the session, and again another strong banker. Hamilton currently P6 with a 24.7, which is quite surprising. So the lap times have been set up really quick. Alex Albon is currently quickest, and he's done a 24.2, which is pretty insane. Like, I don't know where he's done that or how he's found that pace. He was 3 tenths quicker than me in the final sector. We go P2 with a 24.3, which is my best lap of the weekend so far. But I saved the best till last, and this was my best lap in qualifying. Here we go, up to the line, we cross the start finish, and it's going to be a 1:24.1, which is good enough for P2. We set a blistering lap time, but somehow Bottas set a 0.0 in that, which was unbelievable. So fair play, Bottas picks up the pole position. Definitely him and Albon were the surprise packages in qualifying. They were really quick. Hamilton only P7, Verstappen P4 compared to their respective teammates, and Ricciardo as well, only P5. So a couple of big surprises there, but that session, you know what, I can't complain. Bottas got the perfect lap because my lap was pretty perfect and I can't really think of anywhere else I could have found some time. So, you know what, front row, I'll take it. GG's to Valtteri, but that's it for qualifying. We're now going to move into an interview and then we're going to jump into the race.
Great qualifying session. Are you feeling safer ahead of the pack?
Of course, it's always great to be ahead of the pack. I think having the fresh engine this weekend and that power is going to make a big difference for us this weekend.
Interesting result today. Would you say that you're happy with your performance?
Yeah, I'm very happy. I think the car worked well and we seem to have some very good pace out there, which is great.
Appreciate your time.
And after qualifying, we look at the rivalry breakdown, and we do manage to outscore Lewis Hamilton by a point here today. So we do once again reclaim the lead in the very close rivalry with the 7 times world champion. Also in terms of a claim against some very small gains. But guys, that's going to be it for qualifying, and we're now going to move into the race with our brand new engine. Hopefully we can use that to good effect and try and pick up the win in the race here for the French Grand Prix. But without further ado, let's get into the race.
Hello and welcome to the circuit Paul Ricard, current home of the French Grand Prix, an event dating all the way back to 1906. It's been held at many venues over the years, with famous moments from Dijon and Manicourt the feature of many a highlights reel. And let's hope we see more of those in the race today. A lap of Paul Ricard then consists of 15 corners and a total length of around 3.6 miles. Drivers will need to position their cars carefully on the exit of the flat-out turn 10, ready for the double apex right-hander at 11. Watch out for potential overtaking action at the end of the start-finish straight and into the heavy braking zone of turn 8. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's talk about Martinez. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position and Martinez completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo and Ocon, Hamilton, Gasly, Vettel and Carlos Sainz, Leclerc, Stroll, Sergio Perez and Norris, Magnussen, Kvyat, Nick de Vries and Jack Aitken, Russell, Giovinazzi, Grosjean and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
It's game time here for the French Grand Prix, and we start on the front row alongside Valtteri Bottas, and we start from second place on the grid. And I'm hoping for a strong race. We've got the car to do it, we've got the pace to do it, and there's no reason why we shouldn't pick up the 25 points here today. That is going to be the target. Strategy-wise, for today's race, we are going to start on the soft tyres that we qualified on in Q2, and then the game does say move on to the mediums. Now, I might extend my stint a little bit depending on when the rain arrives, because it looks like we may have a bit of a sprinkle towards the end, and it's currently overcast right now anyway, so we'll keep an eye on the sky, see how the weather progresses in this race. Even then, it doesn't seem like it's going to last very long, so the timing of this could be very important. So focusing rather on the strategy on screen right now, we're just going to kind of keep an eye on the sky and judge it on a lap by lap basis. Also, fuel wise, I've underfueled the car by 0.2, so just slightly on the lighter side. But guys, that is it for the intro. Let's get into it and let's see how we go here for the French Grand Prix. Right, let's see what kind of start we get. Building up the revs to the 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. Oh, it's a great start. Bottas gets off to an absolute shocker. It's a terrible start for him. We absolutely nail it. Off the line. Into turn 1 we go. We're going to hold on to the lead. We can now start to pull away. Also Albon there getting up to second place. Getting past Valtteri Bottas. Ricciardo up to P4 as well. Seemingly battling with Max Verstappen. But this is perfect for us. A good chance for me to try and get an early breakaway as Ricciardo and Verstappen battle behind us. Also Bottas and Albon as well. I'm just going to see if I can pull away, which is exactly what we've done. 1.7, 1.9, and now over 2 seconds of gap pretty much as Bottas reclaims P2. Ricciardo starts into P3, but this has been a brilliant start from us, and I think they're 3 wide behind us. Ricciardo moves up to 3rd. What a start from my teammate. Back down to P4. It's literally all kicking off behind us here, but this is allowing us to get a massive gap as we're now already 3 seconds clear of Bottas, and we're not even done on lap 1 yet. That is absolutely incredible. What a start, and a really explosive start behind us, but crucially, this is exactly what we needed. Now the question is, can we hold on to these tyres and not make them overheat, because I was having some issues in practice with overheating. I've reduced the temperatures and the pressure, but we'll see if that actually is enough to hopefully help us out. So it's going to be interesting, this one, as lap 1 draws to a close. Let's try and settle into a bit of a race pace, and fingers crossed we could try and still extend that gap over Bottas and the cars behind, as lap 1 is in the books.
Some information on Ocon. They seem to have an issue.
It looks like Ocon then with issues. He's not really much of a threat, to be honest, but it is his home race, so that's going to be a bit disappointing for him. Either way, that's a different thing for us. We're not really too involved with the Renaults. Meanwhile, pace is still good. Gap to Bottas 3.2 seconds as we're going to set a new fastest lap across the line here.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
I think we went marginally quicker than Bottas that lap, only a little bit though. Valtteri's matching my pace, but I'm trying to drive smooth and see if I can keep these tire temperatures under control and see if I can prolong this stint a little bit in case the rain does make its presence felt.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
Okay, there's the first message. 15 minutes until rain. We're scheduled to pit on lap 6. So that's going to be a couple minutes less as well, taking off the clock. I want to see if we get a second message though, just to see the consistency of the rain. For now though, I'm going to obviously stay out until lap 6 minimum, maybe even lap 7. We've got a nice gap to Bottas. It's starting to pick up a little bit now because Bottas isn't running in the high engine mode anymore like it was in the first 2 laps. So we're able to just edge away slightly and keep that gap going over. Oh, Bottas has lost a lot of time, I've just realised. He must be battling with Albon. To be fair, they're very close on track, so that is good news for us. He increases the gap. Albon having an absolutely stellar race, and he moves up to P2 and gets ahead of Bottas. So Albon going extremely well this weekend. He seems to be right on the pace, which is great. Ricciardo still sitting in P4, waiting for his opportunity. Looks like he's got Verstappen for some company behind him, so lots of battles going on behind us, which is allowing us to just pull away here and open up a gap. The team is going to want us to pit now on lap 6, but I think I might go a couple laps more.
Daniel's in the pits.
Yeah, Daniel pits. So this is our scheduled lap.
We're boxing this lap.
But will we? I'm not sure. I might go one more, considering we've got a 4-second gap. That will, that allows us to go one more lap at least. So I might just try and go a bit longer in case the rain arrives. Okay, so Bottas and Verstappen pit. Albon stays out for a bit longer. So he's got the same idea as me, go a bit longer on strategy just in case the rain arrives a bit earlier. Also, this is a precaution because all I want to do is stop once for mediums, and that's it. I don't want to stop again for another set of tyres. I want to go straight into the inters if need be, so this is why I'm going a bit longer, to avoid having to do a 2-stopper. Right, let's pit this lap then. Trying to keep the car on the apex of turn 12, but not easy really. Tyres are starting to suffer now with wear and temperature. Into the pit entry. Get it slow down to the 60, which is a very slow pit lane, but there we go. This time, no speeding, like the last race in Canada, which wasn't speeding, but somehow I got penalised for doing so, which was a bit weird, but looks like Albon's going to follow us in, along with probably Pierre Gasly as well, I'm guessing. I'm hoping to rejoin ahead of Magnussen. That'd be great, because we'd be ahead of most of the medium tyre and hard tyre traffic runners, so that would be great for us, but let's see. Pit stop time.
Go now.
2.4, that's good enough. Here comes Leclerc, and then here comes Magnussen.
Okay, you only have to stop once now. One stop left.
It's going to be close. Looks like we're going to rejoin behind Kvyat, so a couple of cars further back, but still crucially ahead of Perez and Aitken, and a few more cars behind us actually. You can see on the minimap there's about 6 cars behind, so we've actually done quite well. We rejoined at the upper part of this medium tyre train, so this is good for us. We can get past most of these guys and then take the clean air and start to pull away even more, whereas everyone behind us, Ricciardo, Albon, Verstappen, Bottas, they would have all rejoined in that traffic behind. So here we go. Can we get this move on Kvyat first of all? Looks like the AlphaTauri pretty good on the straight actually. Not quite able to get anywhere near in the brake zone, but Kvyat does run it in a bit hot on the brake, so we're going to get the line through here and the exit. Have to get out of it a little bit there, otherwise I would have hit the back of Kvyat, but now we're going to slice to the inside. It's going to be close into Senior. We're going to go down the inside, leave a bit of room on the outside, but we do make the move and we progress up into P4. Let's get past Lando Norris and Kevin Magnussen and see if we can get our way back into the podium places. But it's starting to get a bit darker again. The sun's starting to disappear. This part of the track
Rain
is
forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
and there you go. As I said, the track is starting to get a bit dark in that part of the track there at the back, and the rain is getting closer. So I think we've done okay. Going a bit longer in the first inning is going to help us just be able to manage these tyres a bit better. Here we go. Can we get Lando? Looks like we've just run out of ERS, unfortunately, so that's going to mean we just lose a bit of momentum and we're not able to close up enough, so we'll just hang back for now. We can maybe get both of them actually. Actually, we might get Lando here maybe. This could be a surprising move if we do pull this off. Not quite. Lando goes defensive though. He's well off line, real out of shape. I'd love to get both of these guys though right here if I could. Let's see if we can get the line through the right hand of these guys. Now will be, struggling slightly on those mediums. They've done 9 laps on those. Come on, let's get past Lando here. Let's go, let's go. We're really just not making a dent on the straight. It's unbelievable. Careful, careful. They're kind of going to the middle of the track here. I don't want to get caught up in anything. Slight corner cut there. Got to be careful with that, but nonetheless, good exit. Can we get Lando again this time? Look at this. We can't actually make anything happen on the straight. Through Senior. Lando's a bit slow. We're going to use that as an opportunity to slide through on the inside and make the move without hitting Magnussen preferably, which is what we avoid. Lando looking for a move, actually, back up the inside through there, but we cover it off well. This is a good little scrap, actually. I'm really enjoying this. Let's get past Magnussen if we can. We should be able to get this one down to turn 1 if I get a good enough line through here. Perfect, perfect. Got the gearing spot on. Got the rotation. Here we go. Let's get past Magnussen. I've run out of ERS, which isn't going to help, but now we're going to push forward and make the move into turn 1. Early apex just to avoid Magnussen lunging down the inside there on the brakes out of desperation. And there we go, P2. Back ahead of those medium runners. We just got to try and get after Leclerc now as Gasly sets the new fast lap of the Grand Prix in the runner behind. There we go, new fastest lap as we reclaim it from Pierre Gasly. I don't know if we'll keep that. I think fast times could get posted, but for now, that's going to be a hard lap to beat, I think, for the AI. Okay, we're closing in on Leclerc here. He's obviously struggling on those tyres now a little bit after all these laps. We should have DRS. I don't think I'm close enough though for a move, knowing our straight line speed down into the first chicane, but maybe on the exit, if we get a good exit, we can get the run down towards Senior at the end of the Mistral straight. Let's see if we can close up through here first. On the brakes, nice and late. Third gear to get some rotation to open up the line. On the exit, power down. Come on, can we get Leclerc here? Looks like it's going to be close. Purple in the sector, but not close enough, I don't think. Charles probably hold on for now. I'm expecting him to pit at the end of this lap anyway. So let's see if that prediction comes true or not. If he's one stopping for the hard tyres, this should be his pit stop lap, more or less. I thought it was going to be the last lap, to be honest, but he didn't pit, so it should be this one. Either way, we're going to get DRS on the pit straight now, thanks to Charles, so thank you very much. Let's see if he pits. Yes, he does, and there we go. That's going to release us back into the race lead. Thank you very much. Let's see now if we can trample away even some more. And to be honest, now we're just looking at the sky, waiting for the rain. Simple as that. Okay, so normal order is now restored in this race, where you can see how much time they've lost.
I don't think we're far away from some rain. I'll keep you updated as the conditions change.
Okay, interesting. So the rain is really starting to get close now. I was going to say, you can see how much time the cars behind us have lost just by rejoining in traffic after that first stop, whereas I rejoined behind minimal traffic and was able to get through it quite quickly. And the gap now, 16 seconds to Bottas. That's how much further ahead we are. I've got the inters selected, ready to go, so if any rain starts to come down, I'm ready for it. Okay, rain is starting to fall. Verstappen pits. Interesting. Surely that's for another set of dryers. It can't be inters just yet. The track is still dry. But then again, that would be suicide from Verstappen. That's going to ruin his race completely. But that's what happens when you go for the soft tyres. Right, let's see how this rain progresses. So far, the track still feels pretty much fine, to be honest. So there's no concerns just yet. Ooh. First big snap there in these conditions. I'm 1.2 down on my personal best, which is not a hell of a lot. Pace is still generally fine. It's definitely still dry tyres. It's nowhere near wet enough for inters yet. Lap 17 now, and I just asked on the radio, it said 10 more minutes of rain before it stops. I do wonder if we'll actually go into inters. I feel like everyone might just hang it out on the dry tyres. DRS is still enabled, it's not been disabled yet, so that's also a bit of a sign. Having said that, this lap is just starting to pick up a little bit now, but is it worth going on inters when the track could be kind of dry enough for dryers still? This is going to be interesting, this one. Very interesting.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Okay, intermediates.
Understood, copy that.
I'm not totally against that, to be fair, as Ricciardo passes Albon there for P3. We've got a good gap, so I can afford to maybe say take this risk, pit for inters, do a couple of laps and then come back onto the dryers, because I've got a good gap of 18 seconds. I should be quicker now at this stage of the race anyway on these tyres. I think it's definitely intermediates. DRS hasn't been disabled yet, but that lap I was about 7-8 seconds off my personal best, so it feels like everyone's just kind of hanging out there on dryers, as Bottas actually pits, to be fair, so does Ricciardo.
Daniel's in for his stop. Complete, go now.
Looks like everyone's actually going for the inters in the end, so that's okay. There's no risk in this for us.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Right, let's continue on then. Ricciardo might lose a bit of time and get held there, to be fair, on those in that pit stop, due to my pit stop. Hopefully, though, he still manages to rejoin in a high position. And there we go, DRS disabled. Good timing on that. But I think we're going to go back to dryers very shortly, though, it feels like. The rain isn't particularly intense. We'll keep an eye on Leclerc's pace, see what he does behind. It's definitely intermediates. Leclerc 8.3 behind now. This was definitely the right decision to make, and there was no need to risk it, so things are looking good. Albon has repassed Ricciardo due to the pit stop, which is a bit of a shame, but anyway, less than 10 laps to go. Let's try and focus on bringing this one home now.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Leclerc.
Some information on Leclerc. They're retiring from the race.
Will that trigger a late safety car? That would be a big turn of events. Looks like it won't, which I'm happy with because I've got a nice lead over Bottas. I'm very comfortable out front. These inters suit the car well. It's performing well in these conditions. I'm just cruising at the minute to the finish line. I'm not really taking any risks, but the car is absolutely brilliant to drive. I'm absolutely loving it. These last couple of races, to be fair, and this season as a whole, but the last few races, ever since the ultimate upgrade started to come in, the car has just taken another step, and it's just so much fun to drive. It's so competitive, and I'm absolutely loving it. The track started to dry out again. The rain has stopped, so will we go back into the dryers? I'm not sure. I think we might just see it out on these tyres, but we'll see. Oh, Pierre Gasly out as well. Both Renaults out of the race. That is massive. Oh, here we go then. The track is pretty much bone dry now. There's no wet patches. I'm trying to find a bit of water to keep the tyres cool and keep everything under control on this lap. That's what I've been doing, keeping things, relatively well managed and just trying to cruise the car home. It looks like Ricciardo is not going to be able to get past Alex Albon, my bad. So it looks like it's going to be P4 Riccardo just missing out on the podium, and to be fair, I feel like I kind of screwed him there with a pit stop, but he had enough time to get by anyway. Nonetheless, from P2 on the grid, we're going to come through here today to win the French Grand Prix. Get in there. Shut up, Jeff. Let's go.
That's a race win. You've really been great today.
There's a few disappointed faces up and down the pit wall after that one, but not here. They secured a phenomenal victory. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
Well then guys, here we go, looking at the final results. You can see we pick up the win and the fastest lap as well. So a maximum 26 points here today for us. Bottas gets second, Albon third. What a weekend from Alex, by the way. He was really quick all weekend long, and in Q3 as well. Ricciardo P4 in the end ahead of Sainz. Hamilton only P6. That is massive for the championship. Sebastian Vettel P7 ahead of Norris, Verstappen and Kvyat. Magnussen misses out on the points along with Aitken, Perez, Stroll, De Vries, Ocon, Giovinazzi, Russell, Grosjean, Latifi, Gasly with Leclerc out of the race. And in terms of the standings after that race, we are now 41 points clear of Lewis Hamilton, 61 points clear of Bottas and 72 points clear of my teammate Daniel Ricciardo. So things are looking very, very good heading into the next race at Austria. We then look at the constructor standings and we lead by 30 points over Mercedes, and we are looking very strong in both championships, guys. But that is going to be it for the race here today at Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. We're now going to move into the laptop and see if we can try and put some more upgrades on for future races. Okay, so after that race, we score big in the rivalry breakdown as we outscore Hamilton by 3 points, and we take a 4-point lead heading into the next race at Austria, which is absolutely great for us. We also gain a pretty decent amount of acclaim as well, and slowly but surely get into that level 21 now as a team. And after that, of course, we're going to look at the finances and more specifically the cash bonuses. And this weekend we had once again a perfect weekend, therefore scoring all of the bonuses on that front, and also some damage deductions for us, of course, in qualifying, having a few issues as well in practice. But yeah, overall a good weekend and $23.3 million. Here we are then back on the laptop, and we have 2,627 R&D points, but there's only 3 days until the next race in Austria, therefore there's not really much time to get anything sorted out in the car before that race. What we are going to do straight away is throw on some reaction training for Daniel Ricciardo. What has arrived is the final of the durability upgrades, so the MGUH has been upgraded now, which is great news for us. I believe that's over here. So now we are going to purchase another one, and it's going to be either the Turbo or the MGUK. Looking at the options, they're both the same price, so we'll go for the Turbo first. And can we squeeze in the MGUK possibly, or is there a price rise? Okay, we can just squeeze it in by 2 points, so we're going to go for both of those, and that means with that we can then pretty much put a bookend to the upgrades of the R&D department on the durability, because that should be more than enough then to get to the end of the season on our current components. And also looking elsewhere, $23.3 million, we could upgrade some facilities, but for now I'm quite comfortable where we are. We could have done some work on the durability, maybe that would have been a good idea, but at this point now it's all done, so we're going to skip ahead now to the next race in Austria. And with that, we are now ready for the next race, guys, in Austria. And then after that, of course, it's my home race in Britain. But guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, then drop me a like for the race win, guys. Let's see if we can try and hit 1,000 likes on today's episode. Also, guys, subscribe for more F1 content on the channel, which is daily. And also check out the 2 videos on your screen if you have not seen them already. But guys, that is it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time in the next episode. But until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.